Okay, so as usual, that took longer than expected, but we are now live, and I'm going to show you some cool stuff that came in the mail this week, and a number of other exciting things that are coming up. So, first up, I've got a bunch of new PCBs that have come in the mail. I'm very excited about those. So, you may have seen some of my recent designs that I got in green and white. For example, this little fella, which I'm going to be expounding upon today. We're going to try and turn this into a fully ready-to-order PCB so that hopefully I can get it in time for holiday gifts, but maybe not. Ha! It took me a while to work my way around to the design that I ended up going with, which I am very happy about. So first let's look at the stuff that came in the mail, and then I'm going to dig into KiCad and start doing some live PCB stuff. It's going to be fun. So both updates to that Joule candle project, as well as this Charmware PCB update that I've been working on, where I'm doing an update to my 2018 system of modular tech jewelry bits called Charmware. I use these as testers for new types of LEDs and stuff, so we're gonna look at that maybe, if I get to it. So, but first, oh hello, how's it going, Tariq? Nice to see you. I'm doing well. I got out on a little bike ride today, and yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm also very excited to have finally finalized-ish the design for this PCB. So that's been kind of like uh, I've been nervous about it. But anyway, so this is my regular Tuesday update slash hack o'clock. I'm kind of combining the two now, actually. Uh, Tuesday updates, and then also I'll be derping around in hardware land. I got some cool stuff from Solar Robotics, but I do want to tell you about Open Hardware Summit 2026. So the first thing in the mailbag that came was this poster from Oshawa. So the Open Source Hardware Association made this awesome poster, which I love. It's kind of a response to the move fast and break things culture. Instead, it's move slow and fix stuff. So good, and I got this for joining them during their 12-hour membership stream drive thing this past October, which I got to participate in and give everyone a lightning view of new stuff I'd been working on at the time. And so this finally came in the mail. Very exciting. To have that, and maybe I'll put it up in the background. I've got a whole plan to update the background here, but it's there's so much other there's like the stuff parts of everyday life that you gotta take care of, and then there's like all this other hardware stuff that I'm trying to wrap up, and but I'm so happy to finally have KiCad back online and be designing new stuff and receiving it in the mail. So that was the Oshawa poster. Open Hardware Summit is their annual sort of in-person conference. They also do a cool one around health tech, but this one that's coming up in May is going to be in Berlin, and you can submit right now your presentations for next year. They also have a fellowship, which gives you mentorship. It can also give you like a travel stipend, I think, and other stuff. You can submit more than one proposal. You can do talks and workshops, performances, etc., and get those in by December 21st. I will definitely be doing that. Probably last minute as per usual, but we'll get there. Anyway, so bunch of really cool people, very much focused on inclusion and as an organization, and they just have a great track record as well as being just like really fun and cool people. So I very much recommend at least making it out to the summit if you can next May, or ideally, submitting stuff, and then also you can check out the fellowship to see what you can get support for under that. So also in the last week, we did an episode of Dayglow, which is my show with David Groom, and we were gonna be talking about Meshtastic and doing stuff with Meshtastic, but I ended up not being able to get my device to connect to my computer or to my phone after a while for some reason. So I ended up just doing some soldering tests on new PCBs that I had. So and then I did end up trying to do some other Meshtastic stuff, but I forgot what exactly. I'll have to dig back through there. Anyway, did some radio stuff, and Then also last Tuesday, I had two weeks ago, my bad. I had a great Hackster Cafe interview with Arvind, who has made a bunch of Meshtastic also devices and some assistive tech things, including like working on exoskeletons and stuff. And that's just a huge area of interest for me, like prostheses and exoskeletons and whatever. So it was a massive joy to interview Arvind. And if you're interested in hearing more from cool people who do hardware stuff, take a scroll through past episodes and have a look. Those continue to happen, and I will be continuing to update my live shows and events page. This is already obviously passed, so I need to update this, but we're gonna hopefully get MakerBlock and Dexter Starfighter on there sometime soon, as well as talking to Shuk Elatar, who was last year's keynote for Hackaday SuperCon, which was an amazing talk she did about like medical testing medical devices and certifying medical devices, which is a thorny topic, but she made it really fun. Like the skills that you have to make hardware certification, like medical certifications, fun and cool and awesome. I'm just really looking forward to hopefully getting to interview her sometime soon. So, hey, what's up, David? Shout out. This is, as I mentioned, Dayglow is our shared show, and you can see us hacking for a few hours on various things last week. If you go to dayglow.show, you will learn more about where to find that on this cool little page that David designed. That also there's a tutorial he has for how to make your own one of these and not pay Linktree, which is awesome. So more mailbag stuff. I got a big bag of LEDs. So one of the central things in my holiday design for this year, I'll get into this and show it to you in a bit, but it is this PCB. So half my family is Norwegian, and the way you say Merry Christmas in Norwegian is God Jul, and I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. But anyway, that's the idea, is that I'm taking the Joule Thief circuit, mashing it up into a candle so that you can run this little candle guy off of basically dead batteries, and it'll be pretty and cute and nice. And as part of that, I have, well, okay, we're just diving back right into it, I guess. As part of that, I've designed this, I'll show you on the computer in a bit, but just out of excitement, there's this Norwegian art form called rosemaling, which I'm sure I'm saying wrong as well, which is basically rose painting. And so I've been inspired by that to try and make this little thing gorgeous and nice. And you can find more about that like so. But anyway, since it's a candle, I am designing it to use these candle flame LEDs and or candle flicker LEDs. Here's the tester battery. I'll show you what it looks like. So they have a little built-in circuit. There we go. They have a little built-in circuit that makes them kind of flicker like a candle with a steady amount of power input, which, oh, you know what? That'll be interesting, because the whole point with the Joule Thief is that it oscillates very quickly and it's turning on and off real fast. So I kind of wonder if that'll like, is it fast enough that the LED circuit will continue its candle flicker, or is it like, is the processor on whatever like is running that candle flicker, is that slow enough that it'll just look like it constantly running? We'll find out. Joule Thief. Yeah. Exactly. So I ordered a bunch of these candle flicker LEDs from SolarBotics to start out with, but it seems that they've, through no fault of SolarBotics, actually they were really nice. They're based in Canada, and one of them emailed me to be like, "Hey, tariffs, da 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 da. We don't want you to be surprised, and we're working with people to like see what we can do to like ship people to the U.S. Or ship things, products to the U.S. without like it costing people a bajillion dollars." So shout out to them. Alas, they've gotten stuck in the mail somehow, which is not SolarBotics' fault, but like shout out to them for being cool, nice people. And then here's that rosemaling thing. You can just see sort of like what this looks like. Gorgeous! Traditional Norwegian flower painting type stuff. Obviously, these will not be in all those colors and stuff, but I have ideas for that too. I know, right? Yeah, so, uh, I'm I'm probably gonna end up calling it something like that. This one in particular I called the Joule candle, but I don't really like that because it uses the J in Yule as like a J sound, and so I think that like I probably will end up going with something like that. I've had a bunch of different like iterations of the name on this bad boy, but anyway, so we'll get there. But let me show you. I think you're right though. I think Joule Thief is the best. Pulling up my files here to show you the actual stuff. Now there was some more mailbag stuff too. Let's see. We got, oh yeah, new PCBs. Very excited about those. Yeah, exactly. So this is basically an evolution of my previous work with the Joule Thief, where I made my own little like PCB that works as an earring. Let me show you. Here's the original Joule Thief PCB that I made based on the circuit originally. Well, you know, it's been around for a while. It's got a number of names. So Big Clive popularized the circuit and gave it the name Joule Thief. Based on a circuit published in a magazine in 1999 by, it was sent into the magazine by Z or Zed Kaparnik, who was from Swindon, and which is also where I'm from. And so this is my take on that circuit originally, and then I made an origami LED bouquet out of it, and then also this sort of designed this enclosure where you can take these LED tea lights that usually run on a bajillion coin cell batteries and turned it into like a little Joule Thief version. So you can find both of those on my Hackster profile actually, as well as the origami bouquet. Let me pull those up. Yeah. I've got this on a banner somewhere, I think. Oh, yeah. And if you go to here, you can find the main Joule Thief project that describes my process and everything. And I think it has a link if you want to grab these, yes, PCBs from Osh Park. You can get them manufactured. And here's the tea light adapter and the origami bouquet. So these are sort of like prior art in this long-term exploration of this circuit. And that is, yeah, exactly. So my whole idea with these is that like it lets you run pretty little light up things off of to like run down those batteries, and then you can feel okay about recycling them. I'm trying to switch away from AA and AAA batteries entirely in my work, in like all my use cases, but in the meantime this is what I have, and I figured it makes a cute little gift where it's like, oh, you got these dead batteries, well maybe you can get some extra juice out of them. And so after making this, like, yeah, this guy, and then the bouquet was for Valentine's Day a few years ago, 2023, and this is sort of like the next iteration of that. So here is what the back's gonna look like. Woo. I did it in fairly high resolution in Procreate, and then the front I made look like this. I've been doing a lot of like extra little thingies, like I had a bunch of extra candles down at the bottom here, but I think I ended up going with a simpler thing. I may end up changing this again in the future, but it's basically like I would really like to get it done for this year, and then maybe I'll iterate on it again in the future. I've been dreaming of doing this for multiple years. If you've been following me at all, you've probably heard a ton of times about how I broke my KiCad setup in like 2021 or 2 or something, and maybe 23, and it took me ages to like until a couple of months ago to fix my whole setup, and now I'm very excited to be able to make stuff again, and so iterate on prior art and stuff. Here is, so I'm going to show my screen here for a minute. Did we get through? Oh, we didn't get through the other new PCBs. Okay, in a minute, I'll show you my whole screen and we'll look at KiCad and do some cool stuff there because I need to make some updates to this before I can submit it for manufacture. But, so we got through the candle flicker LEDs. We got through the cool poster from Oshawa, and then we've got some new PCBs. So, Osh Park, I just showed you the Osh Park page for that Joule Thief circuit. Come back up here, Chrome, there you go. So most of my PCBs I get them manufactured by Osh Park, and you can also get them manufactured yourself if you look at the page. But I have made another update, so my Ouija board planchette programmer for the ESP826601 module finally updated this as well. I've added a denoising or decoupling capacitor right next to the power and ground pins. So the programmer now is upgraded. I'll show you the previous one, which basically it allows you to stick headers on here, then you can attach your FTDI programming cable. You can stick a little ESP01 module on there. You can use this board to upload Arduino code to it. You've got a program and reset button, so basically you hold down the program button. I like to put it down on a desk and do this. Hold down the program button, tap the reset button, that puts it in programming mode, and then this is, I had to sort of wiggle it around to read the value off of there, but it was a standard 0.1 microfarad decoupling capacitor that I had soldered on. And now instead of having a big old janky one of these, I can just attach a tiny little surface mount one, ceramic capacitor, which apparently is better, not only in terms of being tiny, but also because they are less susceptible to noise and to issues of induction that you can get from standard, like from other film capacitors, which I learned, I think maybe from someone on here, definitely during one of these recent streams. So, oh no, I looked it up on, I found it on Stack Overflow, but nonetheless, or Stack Exchange maybe, but nonetheless, turns out that it's better that way. And my friend Nick Poole also gave me some advice around those, so that's very cool. And it's just nice to have more of these. They're fairly expensive to get manufactured for me, but they are so worth it. I love it so much. I wear these as earrings as well. One thing about these. Oh yeah. So Oshpark has a colorway called After Dark that I use for many of my circuit boards, and as you may notice, it is not bigger. Yeah, it's actually the same size. The only thing that I changed on here is adding the little capacitor in there, and that required like reconfiguring the wiring a little bit. And I guess I updated the text on here, which I'll probably update again because it overlaps one of those traces. So I'll probably do that again. Basically updated. Oh, I meant to actually create this URL before I shared it, but so if you go there, it doesn't exist yet. But now it says mount the FTDI cable on the reverse. Oh, those were already there. I think I just moved them around a little bit to accommodate the new capacitor. But anyway, so if you want to see that, bring up the page. Why have you opened another pane? I do not want it. Pain indeed. Okay, so this one looks much the same. Works like that, and you can wear it as an earring. So they are already pretty sizable. But anyway, so the After Dark colorway is what really makes this thing like one of my favorites. So you may notice that compared to other PCBs like this fella, it's not beige in the middle, it is black all the way through. Ah, there we go. And that's because instead of having like a beige fiberglass substrate with copper on top of that, and then solder mask on top of that, the purple here, and then white silk screen on top of that, and the exposed copper is coated in gold. Instead, you have black fiberglass and resin center, and then copper on top of that, as you see here, and then a clear solder mask, which allows you to see those traces through the solder mask with your eyes, and then white silk screen on top, and then still the exposed copper is plated in gold, so you can see that it's gold and copper lines on there. It's just, it's my favorite thing. So anyway, very exciting to have those in the mail. And then also, we got some more pretty things. Got a ton of these charmware PCBs, which are little earring slash glowy things that basically creates a little backlight that shines onto your skin and makes you light up like that. So I'm going to be making a smaller version of this, but this is my new sort of updated look of the Charmware series. So these I first made in 2018, and this is going to be how they look more. But I think I'll also make some super, super like as small as possible while still being functional ones. These are sort of like a more aesthetic version. I just think they're lovely. So you can see the previous ones that were in green and silver, the silver hassle coating on the copper, green solder mask. I'll show you both sides as well as an actually soldered one. So, oh no, this is a different one. I lied. Where's the, oh, I see. That just ended up in the same bag somehow. Okay, so here's the like green and silver version, which I do also like. Someone pointed out that it has kind of a botanical look to it, which, you know, uh, as, oh yeah, I think it was Nick as well, actually, he said that it was a little bit Lord of the Rings, which is a great way to get me to adore something. And like, you know, it is a little bit Lothlorien, but I still think that the matte black and gold is my fave. So that's how those look. And then this is what the soldered one does. I'm going to turn it into a less chunky switch on here because it's a little too big. The whole idea is for you to be able to embed it in a piece of jewelry, so cover this up. In general with like, I've got a number of different materials I'm going to be using, like like elytra and stuff, like beetle wing casings and uh, etc. You'll see. But for now, this is what it looks like, and so you get this cool like, you know, backlight effect on yourself and whatever. But these, I still think these switches are a little too chunky, so I did order 50 of these to give out at events and stuff. So I'll have to get through them. Oh no, but. And it's just really nice to have something small to trade with people because it's always nice to have at events. There are so many people who have given me so many cool stickers and stuff. If you're gonna go to Open Hardware Summit, it is a good idea to start thinking ahead and bring some stickers or PCBs or whatever. And so now I've got a bunch of pretty little things to give away for the next like set of events next year, probably. I just like them, and I got them made in half height. So these are not the Osh Park After Dark, by the way. These are made by PCB Way, but I like half height because it feels so nice and it's aesthetically pleasing. Plus, it's lighter. If you're making earrings, you know, my earlobes are apparently uh sensitive little princesses. So I don't like wearing heavy earrings because they'll like tug and make it uncomfortable. So yeah. I mean on a PCB of this size, which I'll be publishing sometime soonish, it doesn't really make a difference. Like this is probably not gonna break your ears, but it's sort of the principle of the thing, so yeah. I just like them. Oh, they're so pretty. I could just stare at them. Ah, shiny. Shiny, shiny, shiny. So I may do that with this guy as well, but in the meantime, I'm going to be making an update to it. One other thing I was going to show people is that I'm working towards making some AxiDraw pen plotter art cards for this holiday season, and I busted out some from previous years to show, just to like look at what we might end up doing. So in 2023, I did all these like sort of cool star shapes that I like and layered different ones on top of each other. So there's two different designs here. There's This fella, which I'm using an AxiDraw pen plotter, which is now the next draw, I think, which is because Evil Mad Scientist got acquired by Bantam out of New York. And actually, the desk I'm sitting at is from their office down in Sunnyvale. But anyway, so that is version 2. Cuddle.xyz. I was gonna send this to David. Did I ever get you one, or did I just completely fail out on sending these out? That's so funny. I'll have to give you one in person someday. If I didn't manage to mail them, which I think is the most likely thing. Oh yeah, Princess Earlobe Squad. Okay, yeah. Did I ever give you one? I'll have to give you one, maybe in a color that you don't have if I did get you one eventually. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, cuddle.xyz. So I highly recommend cuddle.xyz as a place to create custom SVGs for pen plotters as well as 3D printing files and stuff, laser files, etc. They got all these different templates and stuff that you can use to put together custom ornaments and such like. They also have a ton of different. Can I just log in with Google? Let's see. Ugh. Yes, allow them to see my thingies. Okay, here we go. Aha, and here indeed is the one I think that I was using. So they've got different components that you can like turn on or switch between. And then they've also, I put these together, I think mostly using base shapes like these stars, and then also I made some others with emoji. You can make these like mandala type things. And then I ended up just like in the end, I made some simple layers and exported them and then as SVGs, and then imported them into Inkscape and layered them up so that I could make the AxiDraw. Look at that! Isn't that nice? Turn them into little postcardy things, so you can kind of see how those went together to create these different designs. And that's what I did in 2023. And then I went through and wrote 2023 on all of them, so I can never use these again. But I could make some new ones. So then a previous year, this might have been 2022 or 21, I made this. This I hand drew on the iPad using an SVG vector drawing program that no longer exists. I forget what it was called, but anyway, now I've got, what's its face? Affinity Designer, which works very well as a vector drawing app. So you can see that like it looks hand drawn, but then you also, they're all the same. So that was like 22 or 21 or something. I still really like these, honestly. And it's there's another thing that I did this year, the silver flower, when I got that process back up and running, but I'll show you that later, maybe another time. And then here's the first one that I did, which I just had a bunch of, I think these are Marimekko cards that I got in a pack from a store somewhere, and it was just like, did this completely in Inkscape with just like shape generators that I think the AxiDraw has like these available as extensions for Inkscape. Either that or I think it was like, I'm sure there are other ones as well, Inkscape extensions that allow you to plot stuff and generate shapes and stuff, but I really liked this little sort of robot snowman guy. So those are some previous years. There's a bunch of other ones that I've done. Obviously, I also did not send these out either, but I did send some out that year, so that's nice. I might go back to the postcard concept because that way it's cute on both sides. But yeah, although, yeah, I don't know. It's nice to have more space to write people a little note on there. So those, yeah, highly recommend. So AxiDraw is the thing I was using, and it's now the next draw from Bantam. Kind of expensive, but in my opinion, you know, I had been ogling this thing for years, and I think it was about $700 at the time that I got it, and it's absolutely been worth it. Because, oh, they got a small one. Oh, wait, the software is $300? No, guys, why? Okay, well. But as you may have noticed from both my AxiDraw and PCB explorations, I love being able to make stuff on the iPad that uh, I sort of draw by hand and then import into a machine and have it make a bunch of them so that I can give them away. It's great. I do also make a ton of stuff by hand, but it's very lovely. So now I think is now the time that we like dive into KiCad. Yes, I think so. Oh, I do need to do some soldering. I've got to test my Joule Thief circuit. Oh, just do it, Alex. Okay, the other thing that I got in the mail was these two things of magnet wire, different sizes. I'm hoping that the enamel is good. It looks like one of these is definitely too large, so I'm going to stick with the second one. It's going to be a little confusing because all the magnet wire is going to be the same color. So I'm going to show you my candle again. Basically what I need to do is test this circuit with this board and make sure that even though I basically took the previous PCB design and just moved it around a little bit, so the LED up here has gone way up there. I centered it and moved it so instead of this sort of like universal battery mount, basically this is designed so that like it can hang as an earring. You can put flexible maker tape or other conductive tape in here to fit any size of battery, or you can solder to it, or you can put wires through it through these little holes. Instead of doing that, the candle is going to have AA battery holders soldered to it, and I have another concept for a AAA one that's gonna, then they can be little friends, and maybe I'll give like the AA one this year and the AAA one next year, we'll see. Lol. Hey, what's up, Ching Ching? New headcanon is that Santa has scaled up all his handwritten letter processes with plotters now. I would not doubt it. Santa can drop $350 on some software to do that. Santa's probably got a whole software department. So anyway, a while ago, I bought some ferrite cores from Farnell, and I'm gonna test how well they work because I want to make like a standard kit. They're blue! You gotta have them be blue. So I'm going to wrap one of these so that it does the Joule Thief circuit. I'll pull that up again so that everyone else can see what the dang circuit is doing, because it's gonna take me a minute. And then we also need an NPN transistor. Yonder, I think. Where is it? Oh, it's upside down. An NPN transistor, a switch, and a resistor. Oh, do I have the resistor right here? Whoops. I always use 1206 size components. Oh, okay, one other thing before we dive completely in is there was a conversation I had recently with Jacob Coffin, who is a solar punk writer and has a really cool little solar punk webcomic type thing. And we were talking about repairability. So I asked this question for him around like if you're designing new hardware. Oh yeah, there was an earthquake. Like, which I should have specified more clearly at the start, like the part about it. If you're designing something new, come back. If you're designing something new, like what are the design constraints between like surface mount and through hole circuits? Like which is better in which circumstances? So I had a lot of thoughts on that, but I also opened it up to a fair number of people on the internet. And please feel free to still chime in on this. It was just a couple of days ago on December 6th. So maybe I'll drop these links into the chat. LinkedIn people, sorry you won't be able to see these. But also, it links to Jacob's ongoing page that he's building out so that you can learn a bit more about it yourself. And he links to my page, and I shall also link out to his, which is Green EE. So one of my huge interests is what I call Green EE, which is just like building and selling. Oh, go away. Reject. Electronics in a better way. I think this page has not been fully updated, but if you go to green-ee.com, which and I will be updating it in the future too, and fixing my certificates. But anyway, you can look at all the different stuff that I've delved into. Building and shipping hardware, design materials, I got physical design, power. But I definitely learned some new stuff from people who chimed in on this. So, for example, Bradon Lin, who asked two retired field-deployed military electronic repair technicians, had advice that, yes, most things are surface mount, but I didn't realize that leaded solder was a good thing to have on there for longevity. And so I asked about that, and it turns out that it has a better resistance to vibration, durability under vibration, and that also in space, you're not going to get tin whiskers. Like, what? I did not know. Huh! I didn't know any of this stuff. So that's kind of cool. And also it would be useful for me to know, actually, if there's a good way to test, like, which one you've got there. I know that there are lead testing kits. Lead testing. That I've seen someone, for example, run around a home goods store, I think, to test like pottery and see if like your pottery has lead in the finish, which is definitely a thing. I've heard about it happening with Daiso for one thing, but also like lots of other places that I don't frequent. I only know about Daiso because I go there a bunch. And like, I guess if you're getting cheap pottery anywhere, you want to, or even expensive pottery, you want to make sure it doesn't have lead in the glaze or whatever. I don't even know why they have lead in them. Apparently my protein powder does too, but whatever. So anyway, maybe a good way to test for lead. But a ton of people chimed in on Mastodon as well, so just like tons of cool stuff here. Highly recommend having a scroll through those, and if you have opinions on it, please do chime in. And then also check out Jacob's Solarpunk writing resources page. It's basically a place for, if you're writing Solarpunk stuff, here's how to like get ideas and like do things in a realistic way, like more of a hard sci-fi way, so that it's not just sort of you guessing, and you can be informed by real world science, which is fantastic. So I'm very excited about that. Okay, we're gonna solder this. We're gonna do it. Okay. I think mainly the first challenge is just getting this thing wrapped, and I'm gonna pull up the Joule Thief tutorial that I wrote because it's got a bunch of information on stuff like that. So this is, here we go. Let's just close these bad boys. All right, so, oh yeah, there's some background around like Swindon and stuff. Here's a good little explainer video about how it works. I'm not gonna try and tell you that right now because I always have to remind myself. But I wrote it in my own words in there as well. So here's a close-up of the circuit. You can kind of see more about how it's hand-drawn there. I made a couple new Procreate brushes actually, just like to smooth them out. So more modified them, but yeah. So salvaging ferrite cores, assembling and testing and all that good stuff. So let's see, wire wrapping. Basically, I need to grab a couple long pieces of this magnet wire. And I'm going to mark the ends, I think, with Sharpie, because that's the main thing, is that you have two coils of wire going around the ferrite core, and they will be hooked up so that the power flows through them in opposite directions. So you have to remember which coil is which and which end is which. Although I think the end becomes easy to tell. But oh, this isn't very much, is it? Well, that's fine. It'll be enough. Where is the other end? Here we go. So what? Not caliber. What gauge is this? 0.2 millimeters. Okay. That might be smaller than I need. And I'm not sure what the optimization is for like how many wraps and stuff. You know what? I think I'm gonna do some research on that. Maybe after this, I think the first thing I'm gonna do is import stuff into KiCad, because that's gonna be the most quick and satisfying for both of us, you and myself, dear viewer. And then I'll get into the like wire wrapping and soldering afterwards if it makes sense, because yeah. So let's share the screen, but like the whole one. And here we go. So here is the circuit as it currently stands. Now, one thing that I did, this is why I do a prototype first, I forgot to remove the solder mask on both sides of this. I'm going to make it fancier, but basically I'm going to mount it so that the candle flicker LED shines through it. And that means that I need to have the fiberglass be bare on both sides so that the light will actually penetrate through, but also it'll like do a nice little halo effect around the back, and that'll be nice too. So next week I promise to show you the prototype either working or not working, because I'm very curious about how it's going to interact with this candle flicker circuit inside the LED when it's getting irregular power. And I wonder if there's something I can do with capacitors or something to smooth that out. I don't know, we'll see. One thing that people do with Joule Thief circuits is to use them to charge a USB battery. And in that way, you are able to, so I'm just going to copy and paste this. Where's my grid looking like? Okay. So use the, oh, I want to flip it around to the back. You use the Joule Thief to charge a USB power bank, and then you use that to charge other stuff, so you don't have to worry about various devices having issues with it. This still looks a little bit off, as often happens. I'm trying to do everything on a 0.5 millimeter grid so that I don't have to do little things like this, but close enough. And yes, I don't use mils, I use millimeters because I like it. So there we go. And then, so around the outside, you can see a decorative layer of copper underneath the solder mask. That's just to give it a little bit more flavor. So I'm going to show the import process, and let's see. I'm going to decide. I think I was going to do, okay, so this is actually the circuit. And this, I think, was going to be in white. Was all of it going to be white, or was it going to do some silver too? I think I should do the Joule part in silver, which means I'm going to need to re-export some of this. And also, I want this to be black, not the dark blue that I put on there for aesthetic reasons while designing, which I probably should just take that color out of there because it's too close to the black and I get confused. So, okay, I'm going to show you what I'm doing in Procreate. Where did my stylus go? It doesn't matter right now, but I'll have to find that. I'm gonna grab it before I forget. Here we go. Okay, so I use on my iPad a paper-like matte screen overlay, screen protector / it provides some friction, and then I also use a friction nib on the tip of this Apple Pencil. So it's a Pencil 2, you can just unscrew this bad boy. And then I think I found these on Amazon, which I try to buy as many things as possible not on there, but there's two things that I've only really been able to find on theirs, which is like the specific N95 masks I use, and then also these friction tips, alas. Anyway, so here is the main design. That's all going to be silver. That's not a problem. Oh, but I do want to change the background color. Oh, no, not that. Go away. Change the background color to actual black. There we go. And I'm going to remove this blue because it's just confusing. Okay. So we got black on the background now, and I'm going to re-export it via the share menu, PNG, just airdrop that to my computer. And it's sort of an arbitrary size. Basically, I take the original screenshot from KiCad and blow it up so that I get as many, basically, I make it bigger until I run out of a reasonable number of layers. So I think 15 layers is too big of, is too few layers to have available. I need to go with a smaller size. But Anyway, so let's also change this one to background black. Straight up black. Thank God. Oh, maybe that other one wasn't blue. Anyway, I'll just do it again. Ah, da, 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 da. There's a lot of layer juggling in this whole process. There we go. Okay. Re-exports. PNG to my computer. And this is why I'm stuck on Apple products, basically, for the foreseeable future, because you can airdrop stuff very easily back and forth, and it makes me happy. So here's the front of the design. I do want to isolate my silk screen layer and my text layer, so I've got those all grouped. So the text layer is made up of a bunch of layers all together, and basically I've grouped those so that like the curly cues and the text and stuff all get vanished or revealed at the same time. So I'm gonna export that. That's gonna be my silk screen. It's gonna be in white. I'm gonna be using blue solder mask. It's probably gonna take a while to be fabricated, and I'm probably not gonna get them in time to give them to people for Christmas, but that's fine. I think that light is for all times of the year. However, oh, did I remove the little side indicators on this bad boy? I gotta add some more stuff so that the way that I size this so that it actually fits on the PCB is I import it according to the millimeter size, which means that I need to actually have like registration marks or whatever that too many layers. Dang it. What's this? Oh yeah, I'll just do that. Okay. The way I deal with it is to make it so that there's always something going all the way to each corner. And that way I can just size it according to the actual size of the PCB. Oh, I did something weird here with the front. But that's okay, we'll figure it out. And then I can just delete these little registration marks from the final design. Literally just scribbling on another layer so that I have a reference. And I'm gonna put that to full opacity and hide it again. And then we're gonna export this bad boy, and I'm gonna make it in silver. And I promise I'm almost done derping around on the iPad, so we'll have something cool to look at in a second. Alright. Haha. Okay, cool. So, back into KiCad. I'm going to, so I'll show you the new versions. We got, I should name these something logical. Okay. Here's the new one for the back. Black background. Here's the front silk. I should rename that F silk. And then we'll say FCU, aka front copper. Although, you know, these may be backwards. Let's see. I've got it set up. Oh yeah, so those are actually going to be the back copper and silver, because I set up this part of the design to be on the back of the PCB. So that's going to be the front. That's going to be technically the back. Close some of the 8 million tabs I have. Okay, cool. So, and I'm going to rename these files so they're easier to work with. So, back copper, back silk, and then front silver, which is going to be both hassle coated. So that's the silver coating on the copper, and it's going to have solder mask taken away from on top of it. Okay, so I also need to update this. So this needs to be somewhere. Well, I'll have to also figure out where this goes in terms of the designs. So let's just work on importing those. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open these all up and I'm going to crop them so that they only go all the way to the edge of the file. So this looks pretty good already. I'm just going to do this, and then I'm going to zoom in a bunch and make this wider. I'm sure there's better ways of doing this, but I don't care. And make it like roughly the right size. Oh, did I go beyond the edge? Like a fool. I surely did. There we go. Never mind, it'll probably be 2026 by the time people get this, but I'm designing it in 2025, so I get credit. Well, hey, come back. Okay, I'm gonna only do these one at a time. Boo. Okay. Because there's too much futzing around. Make it wider. Boop-a-dee-boo. Gotta start the crop and then I'll adjust it. I'm just using OS X's like built-in image preview and editing tool. We're not doing anything fancy right now. Pull it in from the side. Close enough. That goes up to the top. And then Command K to crop. That's close enough. So let's just go right ahead and I'll show you the process to import that in case you haven't seen it before because it's fun. So we'll go into here, image converter, grab the file, here's our little cropped fella. It's huge. But, okay, so what are the dimensions of this guy? Let's find out. Is my grid still on 0.5? Yeah, okay. I think I wrote this down before, but then I forgot. Let's call it 95. I did get that spot on at the bottom, okay. 94.75? Great planning, me. Yeah. Okay, 94.75 high. By... Well, actually, that's all I really need. The nice thing about the importer, they've really leveled up this importer over time. And all I need to do is have one of those dimensions. And so I'm going to say the big one is going to be 94.75 millimeters. And do I need it to be negative? I think I do. It needs to be black on white, actually. So it's nice that they have that option too. This is what it's going to look like vaguely. And then I'm going to export this as a footprint. It's going to be front copper. And anything else I need? No. Let's see. Jake. Let's just... Okay. I'm going to stick with the same naming structure since I've been using that. FC and AAFCU. And then we're going to do front mask. They've also... Let me copy that actually so I can just... They've also started making it so you can export copper, mask, etc. So now those two files are done. And then, so let's import them. Uh-oh! Come back. Caca! Open up our PCB. And I'm going to delete this since we don't need that anymore. It was a placeholder. So now I'm going to turn these into actual footprints. I'm going to import file, import footprint, grab this fella. Cool. So that shows up as copper. I'm going to save it under there. This is like all my projects files go in here. Shave that, and then also take these guys and delete. These are my little registration marks. You know what? I'll leave those on for now because I'll need to line up the other one too. Okay, so now I'm going to pull in the other one. Whoops. I'm going to import another one. Did I save this? I did save it. Cool. So it's going to make a new file. So I'm going to have to just like delete this part. Select all of that, copy it, and paste it into the other one. I'm going to discard this file. I'm going to zoom in real close and okay, where do we go? Up here. Figure out where to line it up. So as per usual, I gotta change my grid to something super small because I like to do this visually. Try and get it to line up as well as possible. Which we can't quite get perfect vertical alignment on this. Maybe if I switch to mills or something. Is there a smaller option in mills? Let's find out. 1,000 of an inch? 7,000th? Nope. Smallest millimeters is smaller than smallest mils. Close enough. Okay. So there is our footprint for the battery side, which will end up being the back. So I'm going to delete this. All these register. Oh, you know what? I'll still leave those on, and I can edit it later. Ha! So let's just do that real quick. I'm going to import that. Oh wait, hit the wrong button. Lol. Just hit A. Pull in my footprint chooser. Where'd you go? Here we go. So that should be roughly the right size, and I'll line it up with the outline on this bad boy. Looks like we're close, but no cigar. So, wait, why is it on the? Oh, right, I changed the colors. Ha! This looks pretty good. I think that's close enough. Yes, it seems to overlap with the other footprints in all the ways that I need, so. Boop. I'm gonna grid this down one notch. There we go. Okay, cool. And now there is this. Oh, yeah. That's a good question. What do I want to do with that? So if there is no mask, but there is copper, I want to have, no mask, but then yes, copper. Yeah, that's fine. Because the copper will still do its own thing. It'll be there. Okay, cool. So then that is our Joule candle front, and I can edit that footprint. Hit, oops! I hit, no, stay in the right place. Okay, gonna hit E for properties. Hello? I'm gonna hit, oh, pulled up on the other screen. Edit footprint, and then I'm gonna take those registration marks out. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna flip this back to 0.5. There we go. Save that bad boy. And now they are gone from here too. Yay! I wanted to update the text as well, but let's keep doing the graphical elements. The text is not as important. So now we've got two more things to import. I'm gonna pull up that image converter again. We're gonna, oh, I gotta crop the other ones. So let's go with the back silk screen. Again, we've got a registration mark at the top. This is almost cropped enough, but not quite. So I'm cropping in bounds, inside the bounds this time, like a smart person. Oh, and check it out. We can preview. Oh, yeah. Oops. I always forget this isn't on shape and I don't like. Why is there a button there? What the hell? That that doesn't belong there at all. That must have been an accident. What the hell? Well, that's why we preview the render. Okay. What the? Where is that coming from? That doesn't exist. What the hell? What? Is that part of this like battery holder thing that I made? What the hell? No, there is no button there. There's no button. Where's the button from? Where's the button from? I can't tell you where the button came from. Why is it there? What's going on? What the hell? What the? What? Wait a minute. Is this because I probably cloned it from some other footprint and it like is somehow associated with a hold up. Is there a schematic for this? I think there is. Is there a button in here? Something is like the battery holder like associated with something. Da, 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 da. Oh, this is I didn't update this at all, I think. So it's like it's not in sync with the actual circuits. Okay, is it viewing the I think that must be what happened. But it also doesn't make sense like the placement. Okay. I need to do some research to oh, hello. Press E on the footprint and go to the 3D model. Thank you. Let's have a look. Oh, check it out. Yeah, what the hell? Haha. Thank you for the tip. That's very odd. That shouldn't be there. But I think it has to do probably with me like doing something horrible with I don't think this is one that I cloned from anywhere because I remember measuring the actual holder and when I did clone something, I like left SparkFun in the name, like this guy. This is a SparkFun piece that I just saved into my library for easy access. And there's another one too, like this switch. And there's like a transistor somewhere. Oh, that's a different one. There's another transistor somewhere. But anyway, there's a few parts that I like cloned. That's freaking bizarre. Ha! That's so weird! That's so weird! Thank you, Kevin! What the hell? I love it, but why are you there? I made this component! I made you! Why are you like this? Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay, so maybe I can just like, can I just delete that? Like, don't show it, but delete it too. I'll figure that out later. I'll figure it out later. There's something going on with like what it's reference, blah, 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 blah. I'll figure that out later. Whatevs. Okay. So anyways, cool. So we're gonna grab another one. Oh yeah, finish cropping. Every app I use has a different scroll behavior. The I use Onshape for 3D modeling, and that wants to like zoom into the area of the model that's like if I'm to one side of center, it'll like scroll the model to further that side of center, and like KiCad wants to scroll it directly to whatever you're like hovering over, and freaking this guy just wants to scroll up and down, which is, you know, the normal behavior for a scroll bar. No hate there. But yeah. Oh yeah, you know what? I wanted this to go all the way to the edge because it's silk screen, so I think I overshot it a bit. Oh, I hate you. Okay, I'm just gonna do like a rough one for the bottom, and then I'm gonna because this is just graphical, it doesn't matter so much. And then I'm gonna be a little more precise with the top. But again, it's graphical, it doesn't matter so much. Wait, I did want to overshoot. Okay, I'm gonna do it like this. This is close enough. Sorry if this is horrible to watch. I promise you, I'm not having a good time either. No, I'm having a great time actually. Okay, so silk. Balida, and we'll make it the same size. And again, we'll do negative. Okay, good. We got 94.75 millimeters. Okay, cool. And then we shall grab this and we'll turn it into a silk screen. JCAA F silk. Yes, I'm using underscores now. We do what we want. And then again, this guy doesn't have to be as precise, so I'm gonna crop it roughly as well. It's gotta be vaguely precise, but not too bad. Just do it real quick. Try and get it centered as much as possible, that's important. There were some other little graphical bits and bobs that I sort of dropped in here. Why won't you let me grab that? Is it because it was still trying to save it? Yeah. Once again, 94.75. Front copper, there we go. JCAAFC. Alright, so now we got the front stuff. I'm gonna import those bad boys. Grab this fella. Drop it in. Boom. And I think I'll just save these as separate ones. Okay, cool. And then import the other one. Once again, delete this. I mean, I could just hide it. But it doesn't have any, like, equivalent in the schematic anyway, so. Probably should have named those something different, but who cares? Get this roughly lined up. Again, it is purely aesthetic, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, I meant to flip that to the back. Lol. There we go. That's fine. Wait, no. Oh, right. Yeah, no, I gotta flip this guy to the back. I forgot about that. So those should have been back silk and backs. Whatever. Doesn't matter. There we go. Beep. Get lined up. Close enough. So, now, let's have a look at this. One side. I'm gonna move that text around so it looks nicer. And again, this is gonna be silver on blue. But you can sort of see where there are like curlicues and stuff line up with the different actual through holes and such like. So, like this fella. LED and such. Yeah. And then on this side, oh, I forgot to make that mask as well. I think I can just do that in the, can I just do that in the editor here? Can make this, feel like I can hit E and like tell it to be on another layer. Why you not? Why you no E? Let me do properties. There's also a thing here where it definitely lets me do that, but it's not this, is it? No. Oh, won't let me E because it's not its own object. Duh. Also, where are you not pulling up the menu I just asked for? There we go. Okay, that does not let me change the layer. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this. I'll just do it. Re-import. I do not want to re-import because no. I cropped the file kind of roughly, but I didn't import roughly. Like that doesn't exist. So it should be an exact match if I just go through the process again. Let's close that down. Okay, so grab that fella again. We're going for the back copper. Boop. And it's negative. We're gonna make it the right size. 94.75, and we're going to export it as a silk, or a mask rather, layer as well. Jcandle. What was it? B mask. Okay. Name this layer properly, and I'll be horrible if I the file names later. Whoops. Yes. I probably shouldn't have saved that, but whatever. I'm actually just gonna grab these bits. Open up our other fella. Oh boy. I'll fix the file names later, as I say. Okay, so we're looking at this down here. We'll not go onto it perfectly, so we'll just go tiny. Get all nice and up close. I would like to get this part on the screen. Ah! Quit it. Yeah, the recentering I'm not super fond of. I think I just need to get used to it, but I'm very used to the on-shape way of doing things, so. Same thing with like when I'm in the render, I'm always trying to right-click so that it will move the thing, but you just left-click and it's fine. Okay, is this good? This looks pretty good. Drop it there. Okay. Great. So now I'm going to update the footprint from the schematic, or from the library rather. Come back. Grab this guy. Go away. Let me grab it. Go away. There we go. There we go. It says it has updated it, so we shall see if that did the job. Back copper. Yes! Back mask. So, let's have a look. Still looks fine and dandy. All the stuff is lining up. Makes me very happy. That Joule candle, which again will have to be Joule Thief, I think you're right. What were the other ones that... I feel like I had a list somewhere of like different names for this thingy. But anyway, yeah. Oh, you know what? It would be cool to be able to hide these through holes. Because otherwise they'll just be kind of like... You know, we got a little like... I can't leave that like that. Okay, so I'm not submitting this right now then. I guess I'm going to be going back and I want to also edit it so that this little... We don't have this little sliver of bare solder mask here. I do like that you can kind of see through in this render. Like, you can see where the silver/copper will be on the other side, which is nice. Yeah, I like this. I'm gonna do this, fix that. I'm gonna fix these through holes. I'll probably just put them up here so that there's more like room to bend the leggies around because that cannot. Oh, you know what? Oh man, I'm so used to designing stuff surface mount that I forgot that there would be some random through holes here, and I will also want to. Okay, so let's make a list. So, so update name. What else was I gonna call this? There's like Joule Thief. There was like Yule Candle, but it didn't have the like Joule Thief aspect of it. So there was like, and then there was like, God Joule, I think, at one point, but that also doesn't make any sense. I mean, it kind of does, but I think that Yule Thief makes more sense. Anyway, oh, you know what? I think I discarded that for this one in particular because it is Jul, and I wanted to keep the Norwegian spelling. But I think that, again, I'm gonna go with David's suggestion and stick with Joule Thief. Because it's better in every way. Good call, David. What am I doing? I'm writing down the changes. Okay, so update the name, move, can't move, let's see, LED through holes, disguise other through holes, extend silk at top of candle so that it doesn't get that awful little sliver there. But everything else I'm pretty happy with. I think it looks cute. Got a little sort of snow theme as well as. Let's have a look if I just like. I'm gonna change it on the front of the board to like a sort of bluish color. Let me move it. Do I have to drag these? There we go. It'll be kind of a dark blue based on the PCBWay options. Oh, whoops, lol. That's not what I wanted. I wanted that to be silver. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to copy these colors. Oh, I'm gonna. Oh, I want to save that as the default color. Okay, now I'm going to change it to a blue. Oh no, it's copper. Ah, I want to be silver. Okay. Like a shiny. There we go. Here we go. And then the mask will be. What's that icon? I think it's partly translucent, is what it's trying to show me. Oh, it still wants to be black. Here we go. That's close enough. Ooh. Yeah. And the board body. I've got this set up, I think, for Osh Park's After Dark. So we'll do sort of a beige and just lift the value a bunch. So it's like so. There we go. Eee! I think it's pretty. I think it's a pretty board. I'm gonna update these little labels and symbols as well. Okay. All in all, though, I'm pretty happy about how this has come out. And I gotta make sure that the. Okay, so actually, I managed to tuck in that 2025 there without it overlapping anything really, which is cool. This is where the toroid goes. So both. So there's like an alpha and a beta winding, and Oh, boy, just watch the video on the tutorial. Let me show you that again. It is here. Which, you know, you can also look up Big Clive's page about the Joule Thief, which I think I have. Yeah, here we go. Got his content as well as a link to woohoo, the history of the thingy. Somewhere I've got a PDF of the actual article that Zed Koparnik's circuit was published in. But yeah, everyday practical electronics. Yeah, what does it say? Page something 804. There's some weird thing with page numbering in this document, I think. It's like actually page, I don't know. Let's have a look. It's such a cool, I love that this is just like on worldradiohistory.com. I think it was called like a bright something light. This isn't it, is it? Oh, maybe, here we go. Yeah, a bright light. 1 volt LED. So on the PDF, it's on page 30. And it says it was sent in by Zed Koparnik from Swindon, Wiltshire. When I saw that, I just like kind of flipped out because, again, that's where I'm from. Originally. So cool. The whole idea here is that it basically oscillates, goes round and around and around, and like builds up charge in the toroid. It builds up a magnetic field that then I think like by running current through the wires around the toroid, it builds up a magnetic field, and then like it hits a critical level. I think when it like is enough to trip the gate on the transistor, and then it basically collapses the field and dumps all of that energy as current back into the circuit, which is added to the small trickle of power you're getting from the battery to light up the LED for a moment before the whole system kind of collapses again and the gate on the transistor closes again. It's an NPN transistor, so it stops the current from flowing to the LED, and then it starts building up again by like going around and around and around and around in this toroid, which is another like a reason why there's another thing I want to do with this circuit, which is basically um, one of the things that Swindon is notorious for, and I actually just saw a meme about this today, is the magic roundabout, which is one big roundabout with 5 smaller roundabouts around it. Uh, Magic roundabout Swindon. I think it is the perfect name and concept for another one of these boards, which I'm going to be making at some time in the future. Pardon me, because it really is, it's magical to me that like you can run this circuit off of like very low voltage batteries and it kind of like amplifies them in this like bizarre way and at the same time so it's kind of got that like magic to it, and it also like it's just like electrons going around and around and around and around and around like one like toroid with a ton of like 2 different spirals of wire wound around it, and it's just like to me the perfect sort of concept to dovetail with this thing. I just love that. So I'm definitely gonna at some point make a version of the Joule Thief called the Magic Roundabout, or inspired by the Joule Thief circuit. That basically is inspired by and named after the Magic Roundabout. Woo! Oh my! You know, I was gonna solder some, but I think that since I forgot to eat dinner, actually I've got my spoons are all dirty, so I got a disposable one, but I've got a soup in here that I have not eaten, and it's a split piece soup, so it's very thick, and it's just pretty much congealed at this point. But anyway, I gotta heat that up again and put it in my face because I have not really fed myself today. But next week, we should have some updates on this project. I'm very excited about it. In the meantime, stay chilly or stay warm. whatever your desire is. Check out some previous vids if you like. Check out rose modeling. And where is the Ashra page? Oh yeah, go check out cuddle.xyz if you want to make some. I also used this to make laser etched wrapping paper one year. Let's see, Alex, laser wrapping. I think it was on my Medium account. Is it legal to paint your own car in California? What? You know what? This is linked from my site. My site. Oh no! Here we go. And then Ashwa. Go submit your proposals for Open Hardware Summit 2026. Oh yeah. This is iPad to AxiDraw. You can find my tutorial for that. Using an older program. The app I'm using these days is Affinity Designer. Actually, if you go on my YouTube, you can see a pen plot that I made with that. Where the heck is it? Here we go. This silver thingy. So this was made with Affinity Designer, tracing over a piece of art that I made years ago. Anyway, and then you can find also, where is the wrapping paper? Here we go. Haha. Oh no! I didn't design this in Cuddle. I made it in Onshape. Hello, open the page, please. I would like you to open the... Thank you. So you can go grab that if you want. I don't think it's as fun, but I will maybe share the SVG for my cards from back in the day. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Tabs. But cuddle, XYZ, where'd you go? Oh yeah, check out Jacob's Solarpunk writing resources. I'll drop that link in the description. We got Cuddle. I'll share this design maybe so that people can make their own wrapping paper and AxiDraw stuff and put stuff together with all these different components. And then I will also add my wrapping paper. That's not as cool though. I think what's cooler is this old hand-drawn to AxiDraw stuff. The process I'm using is just the same. I'm simply using a different app on the iPad to generate the vector art to start with. And then you can make it look all hand-drawn and cute. And then Open Hardware Summit 2026, be sure to go check that out. Submit your proposals. And then also go support Soulbuttocks because they were really nice to me. And they helped me get hold of... I still haven't, alas, received those flame effect LEDs, candle flicker LEDs that are stuck in the mail. But that's not Soulbuttocks' fault. I have 1,000 of these now, so I hope they work with the Joule Thief. If not, I'll use them for something else. But they're so cute. I'm sure that I will find a use for them. So anyway, thanks again to Kevin for jumping in to give me a couple of tips on the KiCad interface for the render and helping me figure that out. Because what? Anyway, catch you next week. Stay warm or chilly, and hack on.